Gator said it before, but not everybody listens to every second of every show. It's like we have a job in a new industry. Doing a new job in a new industry, doing these kinds of shows in a time where the football team is damn good. It's damn good. And I think we're quick to dismiss, maybe not quick to dismiss, but it's easy to go, well, Carolina's bad. There's a reason why point spreads are close in the NFL. Teams typically don't get blown out. You can find them now and again. But we went through an entire era where we'd always, I was kind of like, well, Lions were within one score. And then you look around and you go, God, almost all the games are within one score. Carolina's losses this year are by 14, 3, 10, and 8. This is their worst loss by 18 points to the Lions. So don't dismiss it. Don't say, oh, it's just Carolina. On top of that, there are teams that look like they're legit, and then they lose to Arizona. And follow, a couple of weeks later, get absolutely pounded by San Francisco. I don't know, Gator, if the Lions are as good, if we can come close to talking about them being in the same level as Philly and San Francisco. I don't know if we can do that yet. I guess we can talk about it, because that's what we need to do. Is we need to, especially if Las Vegas beats Green Bay tonight, and Detroit's 2 games clear, 5 games in. I mean, nothing's clinched, but boy, it looks good.
I think you can absolutely talk about it if you'd like to. They beat Kansas City to start the season. They're the only team to beat Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the naysayers will say about who wasn't playing the game for Kansas City, because you can shoot it down and say, well, look who wasn't playing for Detroit. So you can play that game all day long, and the Lions still won on the road to start the season. So that's all good. The Lions' loss this year is to Seattle in overtime. Seattle's a good team. So it's a good loss to have. It sucks that you lost. It sucks it was a home game, too, because that really sucks. But it's evidence that this is a good football team. It's a really good football team. And we won't know how good until the playoffs hit. Because I feel like the regular season, this team should chug along and win their 11, 12 games, whatever it's going to be, And I think we're all excited about what they're looking like. But in the landscape of the rest of the National Football League, just look in the NFC. Okay, Philly. Yeah, Philly looks really tough.
Yep.
And if Philly gets healthy, they're going to be scary because they're missing a lot of guys on defense. If they ever got healthy, that's a scary team to face. You look at, obviously, San Francisco. I'm going to say it now for the first time. I think Brock Purdy's for real. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that because I have not bought into Brock Purdy. After watching last night, you got a maniac after you at all times, the number 11, Micah Parsons, and you still just survive and thrive. That guy's really good, and it's stunning to be the last pick in the draft and be one of the best quarterbacks in pro football. San Francisco is so good on both sides of the ball. That's a scary good team. So it's like San Francisco, number 1. Philadelphia, there's some space there between them. And then you get to the third-place team in the NFC. I mean, I want to say it's the Lions. I think if the Lions face Seattle again, the Lions win. But Seattle did win when they went head-to-head. So I think Seattle gets the number 3 nod, and then it's Detroit at number 4, and that's just in the NFC.
Look, there's a lot of football to be played between now and the end of the year. But, I mean, I don't want to get carried away because it would be 5 games in. But if Vegas beats Green Bay tonight and Detroit is 2 games clear 5 weeks in, that's going to feel like a really, really good place to be. And, there's been a lot of the show me crowd out there. And I don't blame anybody. I'm not mad at you. But just understand, this is what showing you looks like, right? Being 2 games clear 5 games in is the process of showing you that the Detroit Lions are damn good. They're just damn good. And, the whole they haven't played anybody yet. Well, they have played some teams. I mean, Atlanta's 3-2. Kansas City's 4-1. I mean, they've played and defeated. Seattle's 3-1. They didn't defeat Seattle, but they played and defeated some good teams. And I think part of this is, and what we're uncomfortable with is when you are good, you make the opponent look like they're not that good, and suddenly you're like, oh, they're not that good. and you dismiss it because your team is playing so well, you know? But look, at the end of the day, they'll have plenty of time to bring everybody over and prove it. The crazy thing is, one of the caveats is if they stay healthy. They're not healthy. They're not.
No.
That's the most amazing part of this entire thing, is they're sustaining a level of play while their roster is getting just, I don't want to say decimated, but it is getting,
Well, it's getting pummeled.
They're banged up, man.
They've been banged up before the season. They've been banged up during the season. It's amazing. I mean, you look at the free agent signings they made that we were so excited about. The 3 guys in the secondary. You know, they lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson seemingly just as the season started. You know, Mosley, we're waiting for Mosley to come back from his injury, and he comes back, and I don't even know what his snap count was, 6, whatever it was. And then he goes out. We don't know how long. I imagine we'll find out today or tomorrow, and I don't anticipate it being good news.
No, it didn't look good.
You know, so now we're left with Sutton. Knock on wood. Please let Sutton stay healthy because he looks really good. But, you know, 2 of the big 3 free agents they got, we're not even seeing. It's and then, of course, everybody they played without yesterday. Hopefully what they did yesterday was just being smart and saying, okay, we can get by this week without these guys. If this were the playoffs, perhaps Brian Branch is playing. Monterey St. Brown's going to play. Jahmyr Gibbs can play if this is the playoffs. But it's not. I'm hoping that was what the case was. Though I don't know. Because when Gibbs shows up on the injury report late in the week, I don't know what happened to him.